Hello everyone, welcome to Analytic Solutions channel. In this video, we'll learn how to work on drives. In the previous chapter, we saw how to create file system objects. In this chapter, we'll see how we can use these file system objects to work on drives. First, we'll understand what all functions are available in the drive objects. These drives are actually used to work or say to find the path or the file size or the drive exists or not or many other functions which can be applied on the drives. Let's see the list of functions available and then we'll work on these functions. First is drive exists. This function will help us in finding whether the given drive exists or not in the system. If the drive exists, then I'll get true, otherwise I'll get the result as false. Get absolute path. If I'm mentioning a path, say a folder or a file, it will give me the complete path of that folder or a file. Get base name. This will give me the final folder name or a file name which was specified in the path. Then we have the get drive name. Suppose if you specify a path, then I'll be getting the drive name of the path, and then I have a function called as GetDrive which will help me in getting the file size or path or many other details. Let's see how we can work on these functions one by one. First we'll work on this drive exists. Let's go to our Excel file, Alt F11. Here I have already given few programs for all the functions what we discussed now, but we'll see how we can work on these functions. Let's say first we'll see how this drive exists works. I'll create one module and we'll say sub fso object and we'll say drive exists. As we've already discussed, this FSO objects can be created either by early binding or late binding. So let's use the early binding method. We'll go here, tools, reference. We have to select Microsoft scripting runtime for early binding use of FSO objects. Otherwise, I can also use this late binding method as well. Say dim FSO as new file system object. You can refer this how to create this file system object in a previous chapter as well. Now we'll go and we'll say the whether the drive what we mentioned is existing or not. Let's say message box, we'll say C drive exists ampersand. We'll say fso dot drive exists open bracket. It'll ask for the drive name. I'll say C. Let's execute this and see. C drive exists says true. Let's go and check if E drive exists. I'll mention it as E. Let me execute this. C drive exists, E drive false. That means it doesn't exist. So how to find this? Let's go here. We have the drives here. Say C, G, and H. If I mention any drive apart from this, I'll be getting false. That means the drive exists function will help us in knowing whether the drive exists or not in the system. Alright, let's go to the next function. Next function says get absolute path name. Now this will give me the complete path name of the specified folder or a file. The syntax is mentioned below. Say fso.GetAbsolutePathName and you have to mention the path. The path can be a folder name or whatever. Let's go to our Excel file. Say sub fso object, and then we'll say get absolute pathway. We'll use the same variable and we'll declare this as new file system object, and here we'll say message box and we'll say fso dot get absolute path name. We'll just give a name, say fso object. Let's run this. It'll give me a path that is the default user path, that is the documents path. Let's give one path here, message box fso dot get absolute path. Let's specify some path. Let's take the path somewhere from here. Let's say designs and this. And here we have this VBA tips. And let me take this file system object. Let me copy this path and we'll mention it here. So I mentioned the complete path here. Let's run this. See, it is giving me the complete path. You can either specify a path or you can just give a folder name or a file name. It will just give me the path. Next function, get base name. This will give me the base name of the path, the complete path what we have mentioned. Let's go back. Sub fso get base name. We'll take the same variable here and declare it as fso object, and then we'll use this get base name, say message box fso dot get base name. We'll specify the path. Let's take the same path here. I'll just copy the same path what we have used in the previous example and I'll paste it here. Now if I run this, I'll get this path. Let me copy this and we'll paste it below. Let me remove this folder, or let's say I'll remove this folder as well. Now this will become the base name. Let's execute this. I have to close the bracket. Execute file system objects, and here we have this VBA trace, that is this one. So whatever path you mentioned, the last folder name, whatever is there, that will be the base name. Right. Let's go to the next function. The next function is the drive name. Specify a path. In that, whatever drive name is available, it will specify that drive name. So the output will be the drive name. The syntax is fso.GetDriveName. Let's go back to our VBA code, and then we'll see the code also here I mentioned. Say get the drive name. So specify any path, then I'll get the result of this drive name. Let's see. Sub fso say get drive. We'll copy the same variable declaration here, and here I'll say message box fso dot get drive name. We'll mention this as drive name, open bracket, and here just take the path. Let me just take the same path here and I'll specify. Now you can see that it says GDrive. If I run this, it will give me the drive name G. Anything with another drive, so dot get drive name. Let me just specify something here, C slash any folder. Now I have the C drive. Let's run this, just G and here it says C. That means this giving me the C drive. Right. Let's go to the next function. Next is GetDrive. GetDrive is a function which will help us in giving me more details about the drive what we have specified. Let's go back. Here there are list of information what we can get from a drive. So for this what we'll do, we'll try to take the drive whatever we are using to one variable. So we'll go and write the program. It says sub fso get and we'll say get drive. Name fso as new file system object and we'll name the drive as drive. We'll declare one more variable for drive. We'll assign this drive for the drive what we are mentioning, the drive name. Say set obj drive equals say fso dot get drive. Let's mention h, that is h drive. Now I have this h drive in this obj drive, that is the variable. I can use this variable for getting more details about this h drive. Say message box obj drive dot. Now I can specify any options available here. See, now say I want to know the free space. Let's take this free space. I'll run this. It will give me the bytes here. That is the free space available in my H drive. Let's go and see this H drive have the free space, whatever free space is there, it will give me the results here. I want more other details. Say message box obj drive dot. Say I want to know the total size of this H drive. Let's run this. This is the free space, and this will be the total space available in the H drive. Likewise, I can use all the properties drive dot. Let's say the path. Let's run this, saying the path. So likewise, you have many other properties which you can use. So I've mentioned here. So you can go through these options and you can work on this to get the details of the H drive. Right. So these are the functions available in FSO object drives. In our next chapter, we'll be learning how to work on this folders using file system objects. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video.